Welcome to the Poundcast, Brent.
Welcome to the Poundcast, Doug.
We have a great show today with our friend Zed Cutsinger. This is a real banger of an episode. I mean, even the After Dark got After Dark.
The After Dark. I mean, you really want to get on the After Dark video of this one because there's some really great visual stuff happening in the After Dark video. So.
Yeah, we're looking at. I'll just say what we're going to look at. We're going to examine some wrestling boners, and we go through a lot of images and we kind of break them down. And that really is available only if you subscribe to our Patreon. Patreon.com/Poundcast is where you can get that video. We are on YouTube, youtube.com/ThePoundcast. But for the After Dark, which is an extended Poundcast episode and a way to support us, you just go to patreon.com/Poundcast. We are also sponsored by, you know it, you love it, LouisvilleVeganFoods.com. LouisvilleVeganFoods.com makes several products, mainly Louisville Vegan Jerky, which is delicious jerky. It is available at Whole Foods and Sprouts and other trusted grocers. But if you want to get 20% off, you just go to LouisvilleVeganFoods.com, use the code word Poundcast, and you get 20% off your entire order.
So much.
So much.
So much.
So much discount.
Dude, that's like so much.
That's like so much. And, you know, this is a cool product that we stand behind and we love them so much. LouisvilleVeganFoods.com. You know it. Use the code word Poundcast. And
you know it.
You know it. You love
20% it. Off. You know it.
Louisville Vegan Jerky. Get it in your mouth. Chew it up. Chomp it.
Chomp it.
You know, that's a chomp. We talked about foods you can chomp. And this is one of them. This is one of the most chompable foods you can get. For 20% off. So another thing that we like to do is have our Patreon subscribers remix our theme song. And the remix has been coming in every week. And today we have a interesting one. This one's pretty different. And there's even a video, I guess, attached to it.
Right. Well,
this one's experimental. This is an experimental one.
This is more avant-garde, yeah.
Avant-garde, yeah.
So this one's from Austin Allen James, and Austin Allen James also made a movie, which is on YouTube, called "Who's With Me." So that's his movie, and he's on, and also you can see it, or there's an Instagram account for the movie, which is WWM_film. So
wait,
there you go.
What? WWM?
Yeah, WWM_film. That's the Instagram account. But on YouTube, it's called Who's With Me is the name of the movie.
That's the Instagram account. Cool. All right. Well, how about this? Why don't we listen to that remix?
Okay.
And then after that, we'll bring on Zed, and we'll get into it.
Sounds great.
We have so many great ideas in this. We shouldn't even release this episode. We should just. It's basically a writing session of funny ideas and great movie ideas. So.
Right, but man, After Dark is funny, man. Those
After
pictures
Dark.
of those wrestling.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you there.
See you there. Let's roll the clip.
Roll the clip.
Monitored and recorded. Para español, oprima el asterisco. Please enter your debit card, followed by the pound.
Cast.
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 Followed by the pound.
Down in the red, I'm talking to
Welcome back to the Poundcast, Zed Cutsinger.
Hey, sorry guys. I thought we were. Well, thanks for having me back, but I thought we were going to do shirts versus skins, Doug. What's up with that?
Me and Brent are shirts.
Yeah, we're shirts.
I mean, there's only
and
3 of us.
Skin.
So. I mean,
it's actually more.
I could join your team if you want.
Well, no, it's more like shirts versus skin.
It's singular.
There's only one skin.
Shirts versus skin. For the audio listeners, Zed is not wearing a shirt. That's just another benefit of watching on YouTube, I guess. You get to see a lot more. Can you make your boobs go like one at a time?
Let's see.
Oh my God, you kind of can.
Well, you can make them go at both at the same time.
That's a little bit. I mean, my arm is moving a little bit.
What's funny is that you're trying to do it. You're trying to move your boobs, but you're kind of moving your shoulders at the same time. So it looks like you're just kind of shrugging your shoulders a little bit.
This one's doing a little bit.
Yeah, that is. Oh wow, you're pumping your breasts. That's pretty good. Yeah, Zed is looking very strong these days. He looks like a strong man.
Can we get a peek? Can we get a peek or what?
Oh, the full stand up? Yeah, I'll do this for you guys.
It's interesting how strong he looks because he used to not be such a sort of muscular, thick guy.
Wait, are you wearing your dad's underwear again?
These are new ones, actually. A lot of my dad's underwear now have gotten threadbare, and there's holes in them, which is a little bit, for me, I'm like, why does it matter if your underwear has holes in it? No one will really see it. But when you put on a pair of underwear and they have holes in it, it does feel kind of weird.
Yeah, I think we went over this last Poundcast. So
okay.
Any new listeners, if you want to hear the full underwear saga, definitely listen to the last episode with Zed. When I just joined the Zoom, you guys, Brent, you go, or maybe Zed, you said, thanks for sending that email.
Oh, yeah.
Like, wouldn't that be a funny thing to say to someone? Like, just to like mess with them a little bit. Like if you run into a friend on the street or something, it's like, hey Matt, thanks for sending that email. I mean, like, I gotta go, but thanks for sending that.
Yeah, I guess for me, the first thing I'd be going through my head is like, did my email get hacked?
Right, I know. It'll like make them be like, what?
Or
just go up to a perfect stranger, just be like, thank you so much for sending that email.
Or you could even say, I mean, this is maybe too on the nose, but you could say, hey, thanks for sending that email about that Cialis. And that really was helpful to me. I bought some and, it's working great for me. And thank you for the Cialis.
Oh, no, you said that's if they're on a date or something, then you say something like that.
You interrupt. I've done this before.
Hey, I got that article about the Cialis. Nice to meet your wife here. Anyway.
I haven't done this in a while, and maybe this might make more sense to do now because everyone's wearing masks, but have you guys ever gone up to just a complete stranger and you're just like, hey, Matt, it's been so long. Like, how have you been? And then the person will go, I'm not Matt. And you're like, okay, Matt, like, I know you do this kind of thing a lot, but I haven't seen you in years. And you keep going. And I've done this to people where they get to the point where they start pulling out their ID and they're like, I am not this person, but I keep going with it.
And you're like, you look at it, you're like, where did you get this done? This is like so real.
You done this?
I haven't done this in a while. I used to kind of just enjoy just doing pranks like this for no reason. So it's been some years, but you get some very interesting responses where you will see how far people will go to prove to you that they are not this person instead of just going, all right, whatever.
You know what I do? I just like, I don't want to get into it. I'm just like, hey, great to see you. I try to like de-escalate and just be on my way.
Yeah, I do that.
I don't want to, I think it's more of like, I don't want to embarrass them that they think I'm someone else. Has anyone ever come up to you and been like, what's up, dude? And you like have no idea who they are. And you're just like, what's up, man?
Yeah.
I think SNL actually did a sketch like that. It was like the first party after.
Oh, really?
After COVID. It was like last weekend.
I didn't see that, but I was at a dinner in San Francisco with my mom. And this kind of buster guy came up to my brother-in-law and was like, hey, that guy you're with, That's what's his name from Silicon Valley. I don't know the actor's name, but my brother-in-law is like, oh, it's actually not him. And the guy's like, oh, okay. And eventually he came up to me. He's like, can I get a picture with you?
Oh my God, that is so funny.
And I was like, I'm not him. And he was kind of like, all right. And he seems
Martin Starr?
It's the guy who
Martin Starr. He was in Freaks and Geeks.
It was the guy Head.
Freaks and Geeks.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Not
Head
Freaks
is
and
like
Geeks.
he's like the younger kid in the show. He's kind of like a dummy, but he came up with anyway, yeah, not
very
not
handsome,
Martin
very
Starr.
handsome. But yeah, the guy seemed very disappointed when I said I wasn't him. I think he just straight up didn't believe me. And
Hey, let's play out a little scenario here. Zed, do you still work at the restaurant?
Yes.
And it's masks are mandatory?
As of now, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw that new news, but it seems like the stuff might be changing like in the next day or so. But for now, yes.
Okay, for now, say we're at the restaurant today.
Okay.
I'm inside. I don't have a mask on. And, I'm not eating or anything. I'm just like, I just walk in the door. What would you say to me?
I would go, hey, Doug, you gotta wear a mask, man.
No, I'm a stranger. You don't know my name.
Oh, okay. Well, by the way, I call everybody who comes in that's a stranger Doug. That was a weird coincidence.
Oh, okay. So I'm a stranger, right?
Yeah. No,
just do that. Okay.
I would just say, hey, you got to wear a mask if you're going to come in. If you don't have one, we'll provide you with one. But you got to leave. You got to leave if you don't have a mask on.
Hey, thanks for sending that email.
What?
See, like, I'll confuse you so much that I can just continue on with no mask, because you'll just be like, you'll be blown away. You'll be like, what is he talking about? I can't focus on this mask enforcement right now because my mind is blown.
How about this option? How about this version? I come in. Okay, I'm not wearing a mask. Go ahead, Zed.
Hey, you got to leave if you're not going to wear a mask. We can provide one if you don't have one, but otherwise you need to leave right now.
Okay, I'll leave. But thank you for that email. I'm out. And then then it makes it so that, oh man, I wish that guy stayed. I wish I didn't make him leave because I want to know what this email business is about. Now,
I guess immediately I'd be like, oh, is this someone I know? Was I being rude to them?
Here's another thought too, by the way.
Yeah.
Check this out. Okay, I'm you now.
Okay.
Now you come into the restaurant. You're some random guy named Doug, I guess. Not this Doug, but some just random Doug. You come in, right?
Yeah, and I'm wearing a shirt.
No mask.
Okay, no mask, but shirt on, right?
No shirt either. Sure.
Okay. All right. Hey, what's up?
Hey, it's cool if you don't wear a shirt, but you do need to be wearing a mask. And if you don't have one, we have a loaner mask that you can use.
Oh my God. This reminds me of the email you sent me.
Yeah, I detailed everything in that email. We've got loaner masks. I don't know, just the idea of a loaner mask sounds funny to me, that it would be funny if establishments had loaner masks that are used by a bunch of people who don't have masks, You know how at the Magic Castle, they have these like loaner jackets that they give people if they're not dressed appropriately.
Yeah. Loaner mask.
There's at mattress stores, they have loaner pillows, that they have that all these people use. And that'd be funny if they had these masks that they didn't even clean. They just gave them to people, I mean, would you ever use a loaner mask? Say they did say it was clean. Say they said, oh yeah, we cleaned the mask. Here's the loaner mask. Would you use it?
If it was clean, but the funny thing is when you said loaner, at first I thought you were like implying that I was by myself. Like I was like a loser. You're like, oh, this is actually for loners. And I was like, oh, it's like
it covers you. It has like blinders on it so no one could like see your shame while you're eating.
And it says loner on it too. So it's like a dunce cap, but as like a mask. So you feel like foolish.
A dunce mask. It's like a really pointy. It's a really long pointy mask.
Oh, that's funny.
It's like the dunce cap is kind of a KKK mask, right? Or hat.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of took that from them.
Well, one could say it looks like a gnome hat as well.
Well, here's my question. Did the KKK reclaim the dunce hat? Or did the dunces, were they like, this is our hat, man?
Well, what about the gnomes?
Wait, what if you saw a group of guys with white pointy hats, and you start being like, you guys are racist. We don't want you in our community. They're like, we're dunces. All
We're
right?
just really stupid.
But
We're
here's
dunces. How dare you shame us about our learning disability?
I love this idea, but the thing is KKK members don't wear hats; they wear hoods that are pointed. They're attached to the robe,
So the dunce cap is like a deconstruction. It's like
but the thing is dunce hats are, first of all, they're not white usually. Well, I don't know, maybe they are. But
it's a
they're
dunce
colored.
cap. Yeah, dude, look it up. It's a white pointy.
Yeah, share this.
So I'm looking at it now. All right.
Also,
now look. How about this, Brent? Check it out. I'm wearing a dunce cap, and you say we don't support racism. In this restaurant, right? Okay, whatever.
Excuse me, sir. At this restaurant, we do not support racism. So, in fact, we're against it.
First of all, you didn't get my email. Secondly, this is a dunce cap, and this a KKK mask is a full hood. This is dunce. All right, I'm a dunce. So it makes me wonder, who's the dunce now? If you don't know the difference between these.
I should give you my hat. In fact, I should loan it to you. Call it a
loaner. Like maybe you need this hat.
Maybe you need this hat more than me.
Yeah, then they take the dunce hat.
Having the dunce cap just so you can.
And then the chef's like, "What are you doing? I'm the chef." And then the dunce goes, "The chef hat is white and tall, yes, but it's more poofy around the edges. So." Who's the dunce now?
Yeah, I think
and then
you need this hat more than
the chef has to wear the dunce hat.
Yeah, and it keeps passing it on until, anytime somebody says something stupid or dunce-like, they have to take the hat and pass it on to the next guy.
And is that a loner dunce cap or is that a perma?
I think it's a communal dunce hat.
A communal?
A communal. But you know what? Okay, let's go back to gnomes, okay? Gnomes wear dunce hats is basically, right? Well, but then if you were saying that KKK maybe is trying to emulate that, well, do you think that they stole it from gnomes? And here's my thought on that is gnomes are magical creatures, kind of, right? Or they're kind of magical. Well, yeah. What are the names of the top KKK members? Wizards. So maybe there's some kind of connection there, some kind of magic connection.
There definitely is a fantasy. They do exist like in the fantasy genre. I feel like
KKK members.
Okay. I'm looking up looking up the gnome cap now. Those are typically that's similar to a dunce, but it's red.
Well, something interesting is gnome, like an actual gnome, is what, like 6 inches, 12 inches tall.
I think that they're pretty short. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, if you consider the size of their brain, they can't, like, if they're that small, how smart could they be? Like they all have to be dunces, right?
Well, I think isn't it relative though? I mean, couldn't they be brilliant? But I think they're just small, but they're maybe still smart, You
think they have denser brains?
Maybe.
So it's like this: a gnome goes into your restaurant, he's got the pointy hat, and you're like, "Sir, we don't allow, we would like to refuse to serve you here because we don't really want any kind of racism here." And he goes, "I'm a gnome, all right? First of all, which is similar to a dunce because we have small brains. So it's kind of a 2-in-1.
Also,
I don't know. That one didn't go anywhere. Never mind.
Well, no. I thought you were going to say this. And gnomes are known to be smart, actually. And here's what I was going to say: is you go, well, actually, sir, I'm a gnome, and you're a dunce for saying that. So here, take my hat.
You guys know who the most famous gnome is, right?
Noam Chomsky.
Noam Chomsky.
David.
Yeah.
Wait, how about a brilliant linguist goes into your restaurant, and he's wearing a full KKK hood, and then or he's wearing a big hat. He's wearing a dunce cap, and you go, "Sir, we don't allow racism in here. Please leave." And he says, "This is a gnome cap," and you're like, "Gnome caps are red. That's white." And he goes, "I'm a genius. I'm Noam Chomsky. I'm saying this is my personal hat. It's a gnome hat. NOAM. Okay."
Actually,
Although, if someone did come in wearing that, I don't know. Technically, their face is covered though, which kind of adds a whole other wrench to it, right?
Right. Okay. So maybe he's just wearing a dunce cap, but you would mistake you still mistake it, or not you, but someone.
well,
I know, Zed, you would never mistake those caps.
this is how you go. This is how you do it. A guy comes in with a pointed hat. They say, "Oh, excuse me, sir, we don't allow dunces in here," because they have to sort of wait out. They're not allowed in here. We're trying to cultivate a sort of enriching environment, and dunces aren't about enrichment. And so you have to leave, sir. And the guy goes, "I'm not a dunce. This is a gnome hat. You're the dunce." And the guy says, "Gnomes don't exist." And then he says, that's just mythological. And then he says, "No, you dunce. NOAM. This is a gnome hat. I'm a genius." I don't know. I was just trying to do yours, but I was trying to do it differently, I guess. But
Well, there's also the idea that it does appear to be, the KK outfit, and then you go through all this and you find out the person is a gnome, but you're like, but you're so tall. They lift the mask. It's about 6 or 7 gnomes standing on each other's shoulders, and that was why they appeared to be so tall.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, you're right. It is not attached to the robe. It is just, but it's a full. It covers your face though. It's a mask and a hood kind of thing.
And then the guy goes, "Can I order some food, please?" And they say, "Yes, all we have here are carrots and celery." And he's like, "Yeah, I know that because the restaurant's called Chomsky, and it's
You chomp skis.
Polish flavored carrots."
Or the other button is
Because it's like chomping.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or you can't order until you've replied to the email.
What kind of food do you chomp on? There's only certain foods you chomp.
Carrots, yeah, celery. Those would be the two that would come to mind. Anything that I feel like a horse eats. I feel like chomping is very synonymous with equestrian.
Yeah, but horses, like wild horses, I think they're doing grass. But is that a chomp?
They're doing grass. They're doing grass.
They're doing grass. Or
They're
is that
doing,
more of a,
man, those
that's more of a
cows are-
graze.
They're
doing
grass
grass.
heads, yeah.
I think
They're doing
horses
grass.
are chomping at the bit, but that's not even the. You know that's CHAMPING.
Champing?
That's what it is.
Oh, the turn of phrase?
Yeah.
Well, it's weird because I would eat an apple, but I would say a horse chomps an apple. There's no question about it.
What is chomping exactly? To be
I'm
honest,
looking it up now, but the phrase is.
What is the difference between chomping and say biting?
Or chewing?
Okay,
Yeah.
I think
it's
a chomp is a bigger bite, I feel like. You chomp off more than you can swallow.
I thought it was you bite off more than you could swallow.
But the phrase is chomping at the bit, CHAMPIN, but you think it's chomping. But I think it's just another way. I'm looking it up here.
I think we need a linguist right now. Who's
It's the same as chomp. It's to bite upon or grind impatiently. But I think maybe that's the original early spelling of it. So now you know.
Oh, what is the original spelling?
CHAMP. But now I'm saying now we all say chomp. It's the same word.
Okay, but what is the difference between chomping and biting or chewing?
Chomping is to bite upon or grind, especially impatiently.
Okay, so it is the same thing as biting basically, but it's just a little bit impatient, you know.
But bite could also be to grip and hold with the teeth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, chomp down on this here. Okay.
I feel like
Now hold it.
It's the same thing.
Release.
Hey Brent, I'm gonna bring up that restaurant thing we were talking about yesterday. It doesn't really matter, does it?
No.
Because I'm wondering if this ever happened to Zed, where say I'm at a restaurant, we're all three of us at a restaurant, we're ordering. I say I want I don't know, a salad with no tomatoes, right?
Okay.
So the salad comes out, it's got tomatoes on it. Has this ever happened to you? The tomatoes are still on there, even though I said no tomatoes?
Yes.
And I'm like, I say to you guys, oh man, my salad's got tomatoes on it. And then I go, oh well, no big deal. I'll just eat the tomatoes or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then when the waiter comes back, one of you says to the waiter, I'm sorry, my friend here, his salad didn't have he asked for no tomatoes and there's tomatoes on it. Like, has anyone ever spoken on your behalf? And then
no, not on his behalf. Has anyone spoken on someone else's behalf when you were waiting on them?
Or has it happened to you when you were at a restaurant?
Sure, okay.
I feel like that's happened to me many times where like I'm with my parents or something, like he didn't want the something or other. And I'm like, don't make a big deal. Like I don't want to hassle. I can eat the tomatoes, whatever the issue is. And then someone else speaks on your behalf and then it's like you feel bad about it.
I feel like this probably happens the most in date situations. When the date is trying to impress the other person and be like, I'm going to speak on your behalf. This is maybe date 1 through 15 or something, you know? Because later on, once you've known someone long enough, if they say don't say anything, I feel like you would respect that. But early on, you're like, no, I'm going to vouch for this person. I'm going to make this big deal. And then in that situation, as a server, I would turn to the person and be like, do you want me to get you a new one? Like, was there an issue with the tomatoes? If you said there was an issue, but then the other person said there was, I'd be like, I'm sorry, I can only listen to the person who's eating. Like I wouldn't be able to help.
We need a unanimous decision here. Right?
Yeah, the table needs to vote. It is. Yeah.
And then say you had to redo a whole meal because of one little thing. Would you fart on it?
I'm very. It's. I'm
Would you
very.
Put a pube on it?
I would never do anything like that. I know people have worked at places who do. I just feel like I feel like that's a passive aggressive thing to do. For me, I would rather just tell the person like off in the situation rather than like mess with the food.
Well, I know only like a psycho would mess with the food, but
well, no, I mean, tell me about the people who mess with food, Zed.
I had a friend who actually lived in Southern California. He worked at a pizza place, and he would mess with food all the time. He would brag about it.
Would he do it unprovoked?
No. It was always the person. Something happened, and then they would always do something to their food.
See,
so what did he do?
This makes me worry about Brent because I'm sure you've eaten with Brent, Zed, and you know, like 85% of the time he sends it back because something's off.
That is not true.
That's a high percentage.
That is not true at all.
It's a high percentage.
That is not true.
I mean, I will say this as someone who doesn't mess with the food. I kind of do like that idea is out there, though, because that might curb some people into not complaining about food sometimes because they're worried about that. So I do like the idea is out there, but I don't know. I think sometimes when people return food, I think there are legitimate reasons to return it. And sometimes I'm actually in agreement with the person. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is like, for instance,
most of the time it's the server's fault or whatever. Yeah. But
well, here's an example. You order something and the avocado is not ripe and you're like, I can't eat this. The avocado is hard. I would be like, oh yeah, I'm 100% on your side here. Let me get you a new side of avocado because no one should have to eat a hard avocado.
Or say you asked for no, say, green onions and you have a strong aversion to green onions and they came with green onions all over it. You can't, and it's too hard to pick out. They say, oh, sorry, I can't really eat onions. And I asked for no onions. Can I get a different one of this?
And then they say, sure, let me just let the chef fart on it and it'll be right back out.
I mean, in that case, it does seem like, well, there's multiple layers to that. The first is when you order it, the person should repeat it back, and they should repeat that there was no onions, so that way you know they didn't.
Well, certainly.
There's also the when they're actually bringing the food to the table, they should look over the food and make sure that there were no onions, because it should say it on it. And thirdly, oh yeah, what's up, Doug? I'm calling on you.
You can finish your thought. I just wanted to ask.
Okay, sorry. And then thirdly, you are supposed to check back within 2 bites or 2 minutes. So it should be me that's going, oh, like I would notice that you kind of look displeased, and I should walk over and go, is there something wrong? It shouldn't be you. You shouldn't be the one waving me down. I should be initiating the conversation.
So first of all, when did the trend of the servers don't write the thing down start? And why do they do that?
Why do they do that?
Yeah, why do they do that? I mean, I prefer if I'm seeing it written down, so I know it's not going to be this game of memorization.
Right. We should put this in the movie too, Doug.
Yeah.
Like they're not taking notes at all. They're just, yeah, okay, got it. You know, and maybe I'm giving a big order too with a lot of different,
right.
And can you make sure that that's cooked, you know, this way and so forth? And okay, hold the onions, but
and then everything on yours is perfect, but my one thing is off.
Yeah.
I think I know what started it. Someone was working at a place where they were sick of people doing too many modifications, and they started noticing if they weren't writing it down, people would feel afraid to make modifications.
Because you think that's what started?
Oh, because they're scared that it's not going to. So they say enough modifications that they think someone can memorize.
So that if I'm like, oh, I have this very specific thing and I have all these things, so the person's not writing it down, I might pull back on the modifications because I'm like, there's no way this person's going to remember everything.
So my other question is, with all this memorization, when you get a job as a server, do they give you like one of those the Simon? And they're like, we need you to train on this Simon. Like you got to put in like 50 hours. So you're going like, so you like get your memorization patterns down. Do they do that? Are you backstage at the restaurant playing Simon?
Well, I will say the place I work at, if you're not writing things down, you get like, people are mad at you if you're training. Like if I'm training someone and they're like, oh, I'm just going to remember it, I'm gonna be like, you're a fool. Here, you wear the dunce cap. And I actually put it on the, I don't really understand. If you think about what could be gained from memorizing it versus what the risk of it, there's nothing to be gained from memorizing it. Except I guess looking smart.
You know, it'd be cool if you know how they have citizens arrest? What if we had citizens cappings where we like put dunce caps on people? And it's like a legally bound thing.
I think there's a lot of issues where I think we need to start socially stigmatizing more behavior. And I think a citizen's dunce cap would kind of would be able to curb that kind of behavior. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because how else do you stop it?
Some things, instead of sending people to jail or fining them.
Yeah.
I think they should just have to wear the dunce cap.
For bad etiquette.
They should be publicly shamed in a public square. Maybe put them back in the stocks even. Like this for certain really bad offenses, you know?
Yeah. If someone is going through a door and they open it and you're next and they kind of like close it in front of you, again, you can't fine this person. They shouldn't go to jail for that. But I think you should be able to open the door and go, hey, you forgot this on the other side of the door, and you give them the cap. If enough people gave them the dunce cap, they might go, oh, if someone's coming right behind me, I'm going to keep the door open because I look like a fool wearing this dunce cap.
Are you talking about when you're going into like a gas station, you hold the door for someone behind you?
Yes.
Not holding the door.
Yeah, not holding the door. In kind of you're impervious to the person behind you.
Right. Well, maybe that's not a dunce situation. Maybe there should be a new article of clothing for like rude people. You know, like what could that be? Like
a consideration cap.
What?
A consideration cap or something like that.
What does that look like?
Be more considerate. Probably looks like maybe it looks like Liberty, like a Liberty crown or something like that.
What about like a douche sash?
You guys know do you know what a rude boy is?
Oh, I know.
Some kind of ska thing.
How about it looks like a penis? Actually, it's like a penis thing. Like it's like you look like a dickhead. You know,
dickhead.
It's like a dickhead cap.
Dickhead hat.
I like that a lot.
Or maybe it's like foreskin. It's like a foreskin that you put on your face, on your whole face.
Yeah, I think like jerks and douchebags should have to wear some kind of article of clothing, just so they think about what they did. And you know, if you're driving around one of those loud cars that makes you go deaf when they drive down the street, the officer could pull them over and be like, "This is not illegal, but you got to wear the dickhead hat for a week." And we're gonna be checking up on you.
It's also helpful if one of these people, if you're like initiating, like you go out on a date and you see the person wearing this hat, you go, "Oh, hey, I just realized I have to go read an email," and then you leave. I think it would be helpful, but
you can say, "You know what? I forgot to check your email. I got to go read your email."
I think there should be a way of getting out in that situation if you see the hat. But yeah, I do think these should all be hats. Implication being that at some point you can take it off.
Hey, you remember when Madonna used to wear little dunce or gnome hats on her as a bra, kind of?
Yeah.
That's kind of something. Like, what was she trying to say? That her breasts were kind of dunces?
I think it's I was saying like it's her way of saying that her boobs were like stupid nice.
Or just stupid.
Two stupid boobs. Yeah.
My boobs are stupid.
I mean, if you talk about a fashion statement, I think that one's pretty. There's no questioning it, right?
The cones, man. The cones. Those are something. Those back then, man. Those cones. Remember those?
You know, Miley Cyrus wore like a version of that on the SNL. I watched SNL. I was curious about what Elon Musk was going to do. I watched it. And
you were wondering what Poundcast sketches were going to be?
Yeah, I was wondering what sketches of mine that they were going to do. And
did they take any?
Oh, yeah. I wanted to see. I wanted to see if anything I wrote like ended up on the show. You know, I wanted to see if any of my sketches got in this week. You know.
That would be a cool show. Actually, how cool of a show would that be if SNL was just straight up like, "Look, we're wide open. We're taking anyone could write. Like, send us your tweets, send us your Instagram videos, whatever, your YouTubes. We'll put that in the show." I would be for that if they were just like, this is like a nationwide. It's like the Reddit of comedy shows. We're gonna see what. We're going to take it from anyone can submit. But we'll give you credit.
Yeah.
We'll get the credit. All right?
Well, the weird thing about that is pre the show, Elon Musk tweeted, "Does anyone have any ideas for sketches?" So he did actually prompt that. I don't know if you saw that tweet, but
well, I think I saw that or heard about it, but it's also like, isn't he always just saying kind of trolly kind of stuff? Like,
yeah.
Isn't he kind of being cheeky?
Yeah, but I guess, it is interesting the idea of if SNL was 100% like crowdsourced.
Yeah, a crowdsourced comedy show would be kind of cool.
Hey, Doug.
Hey, let's pitch it. Me, you, and Zed. Actually, Zed, that's his idea. Well, it's kind of my idea too, but
I don't think this was my idea at all.
We'll get Brent involved.
Yeah.
What if we have a thing called SNL 2?
Uh-huh.
You know, like Roman numeral 2. And we just sort of write sketches for Saturday Night Live and then perform them in town, you know? I mean, get them performed in town, either by people or ourselves.
Are we doing it live on a, like...
Yeah.
We could do it. We have the infrastructure.
Yeah, we can do it live. We'll just do Saturday Night Live sketches.
Well,
how cool is that be? Brent, we probably could do that at the Office Hours studio. Probably look into
By the way,
you guys go on, sorry.
Make little sets, like make tiny little sets, like it's about as big as this room. It's not big, but you just like make it so like you got cardboard backgrounds, you're just cranking them in and out in between and run ads.
We can get a celebrity host for each episode.
Yeah, we get a celebrity host. We
basically just do. Okay, you know what? Saturday Night Live rips us off. It's time to rip them off. Let's make Saturday Night Live ours. Let's take it back. Let's call it. Actually, what if we forget calling it SNL 2? Call it Saturday Night Live. And we broadcast it. We have a theme song and what if we just stole the whole format for Saturday Night Live, but we put our original sketches in there?
What if it's called Saturday Night Live? So it's like spelled the exact same way,
but it's pronounced
Live. Saturday Night Live.
If you guys were doing this in LA at midnight, what would be interesting is that you guys could at 9 p.m. watch the Eastern version of it. And the idea is that you guys have 3 hours to set up and do the same show.
Oh, you mean we should just steal their sketches too?
Yes, straight up do their show.
Shit. Just
at midnight.
Redo their whole show?
Yes, 3 hours after theirs.
Not 3. It should be like the next day. We have 24 hours to like crank it out. Get the players together.
Sunday Night Live.
And punch it up. Or just do it word for word.
Well, yeah, that's the question. Do you punch it up or you do it exactly the same? And then it's like, I think punching it up is actually, I feel like that's kind of offensive, right?
Right. No punching up, just word for word. Just to see a bizarro, weird version of it would be interesting.
What if we punch it down, actually?
Yeah, make it worse.
Make it worse.
Like de-heighten everything. That would be very funny. Like, and all the setups are the same. It's just the punchline. It's just like a different word sometimes, like a less funny specific or something. I think there's something there. I mean,
I kind of like I was thinking, here's what I was originally thinking though, is not repeating the sketches, but doing our own sketches, but just copying the format and calling it Saturday Night Live. I
think, I don't know. And also because we live in LA, I bet you could get impersonators of the celebrities.
So maybe we can get a G.E. Smith impersonator and have him be the band leader,
Oh, do like a 90s SNL.
I don't know, man.
Is that the guy with the sax?
He had a guitar.
Okay.
What if it's called S? What if it's called S and L, like Steve and Larry? And it's SNL.
Like
actually,
rock and roll?
It could be Loosen Hop. Something in Loosen Hop.
I wonder. I feel like
there's no S's in your name at all, Brent. What's your middle name again?
No, there's no S in it.
The only problem is, what if Lorne Michaels takes this idea?
He like starts that'd be funny if they were so addicted to stealing that they stole this idea that was stealing their idea. So they created a new show called Saturday Night Live that was the same thing as, I don't know.
You know how there's like there's like this crazy art theft that happened in Boston in like 1993 or something. They never solved it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Lorne Michaels did that heist. He just loves.
And he's been tapping that art for the past 25 years.
By the way, I don't think, I've said it before, I don't think SNL steals from me. This is just, we're just having fun here, folks. I have friends on the cast. I don't think anyone's stealing my stuff.
Yeah, you don't think SNL, but you did think Lorne Michaels been stealing from
I think
you, right?
Lorne himself, he's the...
How about
him, I do think.
Let's start a show called Lorne Michaels Presents Saturday Night Live. Okay? So it's not Saturday Night Live. It's Lorne Michaels Presents Saturday Night Live,
Or if you flipped it and it's Saturday Night Live presents Lorne Michaels.
What if it's a woman named Lauren, Michaels?
I think there's something there.
Well, Brent, there was Tim and Eric Night Live, back in the day.
Right. What about giving somebody a Lorne hat? A Lorne mask.
When they steal something?
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. A Lorne mask.
Wait, did you guys see that movie Don't Think Twice?
That sounds familiar.
I don't know why I'm waiting so long to answer that. I'm just trying to remember if I've ever heard of that.
It came out a few years ago. It had what's the comedian who did Sleepwalking? What is his name?
Oh, Mike Birbiglia.
Yeah, he's in it.
He made the movie.
Yeah.
I think I saw it. Was this like a sketch group kind of.
Yeah, they're like, well, they do improv, and then one of them gets
the
on
improv crew.
Well, the funny thing in the movie is they keep referencing the big sketch show in New York, and it's I believe it's Friday Night Live, and they call it Friday Night Live the entire time, and it's just like at that point, why not just call it Saturday Night Lives or something?
Why not call it Saturday Night Live?
Yeah, like it's such a loose. It's just so obvious what the thing was. It was kind of funny. Where I imagine,
are they going to get sued for promoting that show on your movie? It's maybe
I do like to imagine there was someone who saw the movie, and when they left the theater, they were like, "I think I know what that was," and they were like, "It's pretty like," and they kind of turned to the person. They were like, "That was obviously Saturday Night Live," and they thought they like figured out like the hidden meaning.
Well, now where do we go from here? This has been just rock solid, great ideas. You know.
I have a movie pitch for you guys that I feel like you guys would be into.
Oh, I do want to hear this pitch. I also want to hear any movie recommendations because I know you're a movie head.
Oh yeah, too many.
Well, what's the pitch? Wait, is the pitch specifically for us, or is it for you? You know what I mean?
It's for you guys. It's based off of a movie I watched last night, actually, which if you haven't seen it, I would
Was
recommend.
it called A Marriage Story?
It was called Scanners.
Oh, okay, Scanners, right?
Was it really Scanners?
Yeah. So I've seen it like multiple times, but I was watching it, and the whole idea is that these people go into other people's heads, like, and they scan them, and they make their heads explode. It would be that, but you make the person get diarrhea. And I could see this being something you guys would be into.
You make their butt explode, basically.
Yes. And it has the same like build up where the people are like shaking and all this stuff. And then and then instead of dying, they just like shit their pants.
I love it. What's it called? Splatters?
Oh my gosh, that is great. It's splatters. That is so good. Splatters.
Like
wow, I was trying to.
It's in the same font, and it's got that same cover where the guy's like, but then there's like brown like mist coming up from below.
Well, yeah, because it's
hitting the bottom of the chin with like specks.
Well, you know how there's that psychic battle at the end of the movie, you know?
Yes.
Instead, it's something, I don't know what that would be, how that translates, but there's something, it's a butt battle at the end or something.
Well, in it, at one point, you see the guy's arms and his veins start to pop out. You would see the guy's ass and like hemorrhoids would start popping. Okay, maybe it's too much.
Oh,
you see giant veins on his pants get really tight. You see like giant veins like popping out.
Wow. Yeah. So you see his jeans rip open, and it's like the veins are popping out of his butt and stuff.
But instead of in the movie, the veins they pop out like towards the fingers. It'd be funny in this if the veins are actually building towards the ass, like the opposite direction.
It's a good idea.
They're going around and then into the back.
Yes.
Dude, I mean, 100%. It pretty much writes itself. Splatters.
Great idea. Splatters.
And then the other direction, which is actually similar to something you've done, Brent, it would be that, but you would make the person ejaculate. But that almost seems too similar to something you've done.
Mind jack.
So is that called boners?
But anyways, I saw this movie last night, and I was thinking this is something that you guys would.
Oh, spurters, or it'd be called squirters,
squirters,
or spurters or squirters. And
I like splatters better.
Actually, splatters could work for the ejaculation one too.
So I've never seen Scanners. What is the deal? Like, why are their heads blown up?
So it's kind of it's directed by Cronenberg. Yeah, it's Cronenberg. So it's you've seen it, Brent, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of sci-fi, but it's directed by someone who is like a master of horror. So it has some scenes that are like just like the body horror and the mutilation and stuff is just you would never see it in a sci-fi movie.
I mean, he's not quite. I don't know if he's horror. I mean, Cronenberg, right? But he's definitely into weird body stuff.
Yeah. And in this movie, there's like a secret not a society, but people have the ability to scan other people, which means that you can basically read their minds. But in this, when you become powerful enough, you can actually manipulate them and make them do things. So it's almost like an X-Men or I guess Firestarter. One of these. Oh yeah, what's up?
Well, okay, I was just saying. If I raise my hand, you can finish your thought. I was just saying.
Okay.
But
sorry, it's just I saw the hand.
It could be. I really appreciate that. You're the first guest to actually, kind of check in on that. But it could be a near future, right?
Yeah.
Toilet paper is scarce, so people don't really want to
go to the bathroom at all.
Go to the bathroom, right?
Yeah.
So people don't eat as much. Everyone's skinny.
They're slowing their metabolism down.
Yeah, they don't want to use the bathroom because toilet paper is scarce. They have to really have to pick and choose when they can go.
And it's against the law to use other paper products or towels and stuff.
But then there's an evil splatter who can scan your bowel and see what's in there. And if they don't if you're a dunce or you're a douche or you're like an inconsiderate person, they'll make you splatter. And they're really an anti-hero, or they're kind of a good guy, even though they're kind of a bad guy, because they're taking out the real bad guys. You know what I mean? Is that an anti-hero?
Well, anti-hero is usually not motivated for the greater good of people. They're motivated for selfish reasons. That's kind of what an anti-hero is about. So they don't really care about. They happen to work on the side of good. But, well, I don't know. This is one version of it, but it's not for everybody. It's not for the good of everyone. It's just because it benefits them.
Like, I guess Travis Bickle from Taxi Driver.
That's not an anti-hero.
You don't think of that as an anti-hero?
No, he's sort of he's a mentally ill hero.
To me, that's anti.
No, I mean he's kind of deranged, but I'm
gonna look it up.
He does believe in good, the greater good for people and stuff. He's not selfishly motivated, I
think Travis Bickle is a perfect example. Here's some examples here. Tony Soprano.
Well, that's certainly
Walter White, Don Draper. So they are a central character in a story, movie, or drama who lacks conventional heroic attributes.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I think you guys need Noam Chomsky on this, a linguist, to kind of help with some of these words.
Well, they lack morality, but I think they're a hero somehow.
Well,
or they're the central character. So
Danny McBride plays anti-heroes a lot, I think. Kenny Powers is an anti-hero.
Yeah, I think in this splatters situation, also predicting whether these people are douches and all this kind of stuff before it happens, now it's almost becoming, you're kind of pushing more into the sci-fi, the Philip K. Dick, like the Minority Report, where it's like, do you make this person shit their pants before they do the crime?
There you go. Okay, now this story's really coming together.
Yeah,
maybe it's Philip K. shit. We'll have a nom de plume that's just specifically for this movie, written by Philip K. shit.
I like that a lot. It's so weird.
It's so stupid. It's like that's in the credits, written by,
Philip
How about like shit? all the director and everyone is just like this weird like nom de plume.
It's all like
directed by
they're all like these kind of puns or whatever.
Puns like
Poopenberg,
Steven Shitterberger or something. Or wait,
by
what's
the way,
Cronenberg's first name?
David.
Huh.
I know that Splatters is a great name, but it also could be called Crappers too.
How about David Cronenturd?
I think there's something there. I feel like, now you mention he's done so much body stuff, but I don't think we've seen much like poop in his movies. So I think in a weird way, he would actually like this project.
Would this be in the realm of like Scary Movie or something, where it's like a send up of scanners?
As a spoof?
It would be funny to spoof a movie that's like so not current, because like all those like spoof movies are so like
Very zeitgeisty.
They cram everything in there of like what's in the culture. So like it'd be funny to just pick a movie from like the 60s or 70s or 80s and like just straight up spoof it.
Yeah.
And they would sell no tickets at the box office, and no one would want it, but I would love to see it.
And I think the selling point would be, oh, do you remember that part in Wayne's World when Garth kind of references scanners? It's like, if you remember that, because a lot of people haven't seen Scanners, it's like, well, now see this movie that's actually based off of the movie that they were making fun of.
I just saw a hand behind you, and I was like, wow, this is like a Cronenberg film.
Behind who? Zed?
behind Zed.
Wonder...
It went away. That was cool.
Oh, I wonder if it was like a book or one of my cats.
No, there was a hand. It was weird.
Yeah,
Well, the end of Scanners is really good. That's the best part, I think.
Well, no spoilers. I haven't seen it. I gotta watch it to get inspiration for splatters.
Well, the other part that's really good is that iconic part of the movie too.
Oh, with the head?
The first head that explodes, yeah. Or is it the first one or the second one? Or whatever.
I think I've seen that that clip, of course. It's
kind of crazy. I saw Scanners the same night I watched the movie Atlantic City. And they both have the actor who is the guy whose head explodes. He's only in one scene of the movie Scanners. He's only in about 1.5 scenes of Atlantic City also. It was such a weird coincidence that the same actor, he's a minor role in both movies, but he was in both movies. And I coincidentally just decided to watch both movies at the same time. I had no idea that the same actor was going to be in both movies and with the minor roles. But I think that both of those movies might have been made in Canada. I'm not sure. And I think he might be a Canadian actor.
Probably. I mean, I know, well, I can't, like, for minor roles, I guess why would anybody who's not Canadian be in that movie?
I mean, I think, but I'm not sure,
Yeah, I'm beginning to think for whatever reason that you saw Atlantic City after, I think you might have been scanned, Brent.
I just couldn't believe it when I saw, I don't remember what the order was, but I saw that actor. I said, what, this guy again? That's crazy. Granted, the movies were made, I think, the same year or a year apart from each other. So
what if his head blew up in that movie too? And he was like pigeonholed into like, he's like, yeah, I'm the guy whose head blows up in the movies. Like, that's the only roles he can ever get is like head explosion guy. And
he has his own like special effects team. So he's like, if you hire me for this movie, they will do all that. Like, you don't have to worry about it.
I can get my head blown off. I can do, sci-fi exploding head.
Well, look, my package includes head blowing up.
Twitching.
I act in the role. Yeah, I act in the role as well.
I could do a suicide head blow off. I can do all of that.
I can do a butt blow up. Whatever.
Yeah, kind of tying into this idea of remakes and all this stuff. Cronenberg, there was a movie he did in the 70s. It was his first feature, I believe, called Crimes of the Future. And they just announced he's actually going to do a remake of it. And he's working on it right now with Viggo Mortensen and Kristen Stewart.
Do you like Cronenberg a lot?
Oh, yeah. He's in my top 5 directors of all time. I like absolutely... you got to see more of his movies, Doug. I think you would just... It sounds like you've probably seen a bunch, Brent.
I've seen Videodrome. I've seen The Fly. I've seen, Scanners, and I saw Existence, or what do you call it? Whatever it's called, Existence or whatever.
I've seen Existence. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I feel like if it would have come out a different year than The Matrix...
Did he do Starship Troopers?
Oh, that's Verhoeven.
No. Okay, I get those guys mixed up, I think.
Verhoeven did Starship Troopers? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, there's Verhoeven, John Carpenter, and Cronenberg. They have like a weird overlap in their styles.
They're kind of similar, yeah.
And Total Recall, which Verhoeven directed, I believe Cronenberg was going to direct it, and that's why there's that, the scene with the weird Quado with the baby.
Yeah, that's very Cronenberg. Yeah,
that was one of the lingering effects of what Cronenberg was going to do.
Also, I feel like when Schwarzenegger takes the bug out of through his nose, that's very Cronenberg also, you know?
And not really something you'd see in a Verhoeven movie.
Cronenberg is very bodily. He's very into doing gross body stuff, and Fly is a great example of that, you know? But also, even in RoboCop, you know, just I could see, even though it's Verhoeven, it's the idea of kind of this guy being half machine and half human or whatever. That's very kind of Cronenberg-y. And also, there's a scene later near the end of RoboCop where the guy gets the acid gets on the guy, you know, and he starts like melting. That's very Cronenberg too, seeming. But I guess you're saying there's overlap. I mean, maybe it's very Verhoeven too. I guess it's just there's overlap between the two.
Yeah, and also to kind of go back to splatters, there's a Verhoeven movie more recently called Black Book, where there's a scene where someone gets covered in diarrhea.
They should have called it Brown Book.
Well, we just talked to the director of Butt Boy recently, so.
Have you seen that?
Oh no!
I mean,
I'm more of a butt man.
You're a movie
than a
guy.
butt boy.
You should check out Butt Boy. It's on Amazon.
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, I'll watch anything.
Can you recommend any? We got about 5 minutes left. Can you recommend any movies?
Yeah. Are you looking for more contemporary or just anything?
Well, you know what I found is like contemporary movies are bad.
Well, this year
It's
especially,
hard to find. It's maybe older movies too, but it's hard to find one that's exceptional, a modern film.
You know, as far as modern movies goes, you know, all these things. Oh, I think I said this already, maybe last episode, but for 2020, of all the stuff that was nominated stuff, the movie I thought was the best movie of the year that I saw, at least, was not mentioned at all for the Academy Awards, and it was I'm Thinking of Ending Things.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I not that I thought. I mean, not that I like hardcore loved it, but I thought it was good. I liked it. I thought it was cool and
definitely stood out.
Yeah.
Weird.
What if we made a movie, Splatters, but we titled it 100% on Rotten Tomatoes? Like that was the name of the film.
I like that.
Hack the system a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a movie. There's a new movie that came out, I think, kind of recently, and I watched some of the trailer for it, and it looks good. I'm interested in it, and it was recommended to me by Chloe Bonilla, who does the you know, she's on helps us out with the
team.
show.
Yeah.
And
what was it?
It's called Limbo.
Oh, is it about Scotland?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, my friend just saw this. It's a documentary?
No. It's not.
Okay. I think I was thinking of something else. Yeah, okay. I gotta check that out.
It looks good.
If you guys have Amazon Prime, I just watched for the first time. It's been recommended to me a bunch, but I hadn't seen it. The Limey, by Soderbergh from '99.
Yeah. I never saw it, but I know about it.
It's like
I think I saw it. I didn't really love it, but
it's very straightforward. But some really interesting. Well, I think you'd appreciate this, Doug. The editing in it is like very, very interesting for a movie that is so straightforward. The woman who edited, like, just weird. You see parts of the scene before they happen. The way it plays with timeline and memories is really cool. I thought.
I got to make sure I got the this movie. If I can remember, I might have saw it a long time ago, 1999.
Yeah, it was 22 years ago now.
Yeah. Oh, I saw this. I'll have to give it another watch. Yeah.
It's 88 minutes also.
His movies have some great editing. Actually, I do like the vibe of some of his movies. They're like, they move around kind of cool.
Yeah, I guess he's supposed to be seen as like some like editing doctor in Hollywood. When Spike Jonze finished Her, it was like 4 hours long or something, and he's like, I don't know what to cut, so he gave it to Soderbergh, and Soderbergh like cut it down to a 70-minute version over a weekend, and ultimately the final version of Her is longer than that, but he took a lot of cues from it, including cutting it into. There's like an entire character that was cut out of the movie per Soderbergh's edit.
That'd be cool if Soderbergh cut it into a 5-second clip of just I don't know, like whatever the most insane thing happens, just like a 10-second moment. He's like, there you go.
Just 10 seconds of every time someone says her.
Or just it's just one,
like her.
or it's just one time somebody said her, it's a clip of a guy just going her, and that's it, and a movie credits roll. It's a long credits too, and then Soderbergh sends it to him and he says, well, here you go, this is all that's really worth kind of keeping in the movie. I mean, I cut it down to the essentials.
Yeah, I charge $100,000 for this service, so
Soderbergh.
Well, just the credits are going so fast, but there's like a ghost image over the credits, or it just says edited by Soderbergh that just lingers.
It's a watermark like over
a phase, and all the credits go up.
Yeah. What were you saying, Brent? Sorry.
Nothing. I was just saying that you know how like when you get scripts to audition with, sides, there's this watermark over it kind of diagonally, it's like it has your name on it because in case you leak it or something.
It says edited by Soderbergh on the script.
On the
sides.
Oh, it's on this.
That's where I thought you were going.
It's not edited at all. It's not even shot yet. It's not even cast. Edited by Soderbergh? What the hell?
It doesn't even say Steven Soderbergh. It just says edited by Soderbergh. It doesn't say Steven Soderbergh. Actually, maybe Soderbergh should be SNL. It's Soderbergh and Lorne, or Soderbergh and Lissenhop.
Yeah. Well, then you also, if you become a good editor, you wear the Soderbergh cap, right?
Ooh. There should be positive caps, like caps you can be proud of to wear.
Yeah. And then if
you're a good guy and like someone's trying to merge and you're like, hey, come on in. They're like, they go like this. They're like, they wave you over, like, pull over. They give you the good guy cap.
Well, you go to reach out to give them the cap, and they're like, no, they're motioning no, and they point to their back seat just filled with the hats already. They're like, I can't
have so many of these. I got.
Yeah. And if either of you guys have a Criterion channel, John Woo, he had a 1979 movie called Last Hurrah for Chivalry. It's John Woo later on, he did American movies like Mission Impossible 2, Face Off, Hard Target.
But he also had Hard Boiled, right?
Broken Arrow.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And a Broken Arrow, with John Travolta.
And didn't he have some movie called The Killer or something?
The Killer, it's 3 big ones in Hong Kong where I think all have Chow Yun-fat. The Killer, is it A Place for Tomorrow? I'm fucking.
Oh yeah, something like that. A Better Tomorrow.
A Better Tomorrow, yes. And Hard Boiled, which if you guys said Hard Boiled, there's a moment in it. I'm actually thinking of the two of you that you would just fucking laugh.
I've seen Hard Boiled.
Well, there's a scene where there's a baby and there's a fire and there's something that happens and it is.
I don't remember.
I guess, can I say? Can I?
It's up to Doug. It's up to Doug. I've seen the movie.
Yeah, say it. I mean, okay. It doesn't spoil the whole movie because I want to watch the whole movie.
Well, if you're is
it a pinnacle moment, or is it just like
a really, really funny moment that it's like, what director would make this choice?
Let's hear it.
Chow Yun-fat.
Spoiler alert, everybody.
Yeah, spoiler. He's rescuing babies from this hospital. The hospital's on fire. It's about to blow up because you find out the bad guys are running guns out of the basement of this hospital. He's rescuing this baby. He's on fire. The baby just starts pissing, and the piss puts the fire out.
I don't remember that.
That's awesome.
And it's like accentuated, and it's just like, it's a special moment. And you're like, this is so genius. Any other, like, if an American movie was going to have this, it'd be like Soderbergh would cut that out immediately. But yeah, anyway, so later on he did these like gung fu movies, and he like kind of mastered the genre, which it was a phrase I heard more recently, with gung fu being like kung fu but with guns, where the characters like John Wick, where they whatever. So in 1979 he did an wuxia movie. The genre is people are most familiar with it because of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, or Hero. These like Chinese fantasy movies where they use wires and there's whatever. But he did one in 1979, and it is really, really fun watch. I recommend it.
Last Hurrah for Chivalry?
Yeah. It's on the Criterion channel. I recommend it.
All right. Well, maybe on that note, we should wrap up the show.
Okay, let's wrap.
Big positive with a big positive recommendation from Zed Cutsinger. Thank you for joining us, Zed. Are you going to hang around for After Dark?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm here.
Anything you want to mention, plug or anything?
Just yeah, my movie podcast, Views from the Vista, and my weekly news roundup podcast, The Male Gaze. I would check those out. And if you guys like just laughing a bunch, I would check out the Poundcast. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, man.
Thank
I like The Male Gaze. I check into that sometimes. It's fun listen.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Especially, I'm here I go for Zed. The other guys are great, but we all have our favorite members of the show.
Well, thanks. I try to keep it, it's either going to be light or it's going to be about movies. Those are my two things. All right.
Okay, we're gonna go to the After Dark segment of the show now. If you want to listen to the After Dark, just go to patreon.com/poundcast, and you can get instant access to the After Dark sections of the podcast.
Big thanks to Chloe Bonilla, Jack Birch, who's El Bircho on social media, and Jackie Montana.
That is the Poundcast team helping us out behind the scenes. We thank them and we thank you for listening. And we will see you next week on
The Poundcast.
I was hoping Zed would say it.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
I will see you next week on
The Poundcast.
Wait, say it like this, Zed.
Okay.
Poundcast.
Poundcast. I tried. I don't know.
That's good.
This call will be monitored and recorded. Para español, oprima el asterisco. Please enter your debit card, followed by the pound.
Cast.
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 Followed by the pound.
Done and Brent. I'm talking to you. Stigma.
Right.